A couple of weeks ago, we saw a message from the Daily Mail sent to King Charles himself, telling Charles not to bring what they called a wayward son to the coronation. That is the partner of the royal family sending a message to Charles. And over the past couple of days, we have seen different stories, different versions. One being that there's a plan for Harry to come alone, without his wife and kids. And you know what? I feel like even Charles himself does not want for Harry to come with his wife and children. I have the feeling. From what I've seen, really, the tabloids are attacking Charles. At least we are seeing right now hit pieces being written against Charles. We are seeing carnival of so-called experts like Tom Bower, who went on Good Morning Britain and called Meghan his target. They smear her so many times because they want to destroy Meghan Markle, the target of the royal family and the target of the carnival of so-called experts in the UK tabloid press, who write for the UK tabloid press. And my family, as I've said, the media, tabloids, are writing hit pieces on Charles. Tom Bower, for instance, a carnival of so-called experts who call Meghan, his target, because she's the woman they want to destroy. My family, he said that Charles is a weak man. He called Charles a weak man. And now, another carnival of so-called expert called Jan Moore, who happens to be a racist, because this woman racially abused Meghan Markle, wrote an article, an opinion piece, column for the Daily Mail, saying that King Charles and Camilla are as charismatic as a couple of garden gnomes. She said, make no mistake, Jan Moore is a racist. This woman racially abused Meghan Markle. And even in an article that members of the squad online have posted, screenshot, really, from about what she said. She wrote an article titled, I fear Charles' coronation will prove to be the beginning of the end of the monarchy. The Carolingian age may be historically correct, but the term lacks a certain glamour. With a photo of Harry and Meghan right there. It's how they use Harry and Meghan's photo as clickbait to make people click onto the articles to get money from clicks using Harry and Meghan's name. Don't forget, Jan Moore is very much a racist. And so I went to Kaiser to find out what she said about this. And here's what Kaiser had to say. Allow me to share with you. Jan Moore is a columnist for the Daily Mail. She is not a good person. And she has written completely unhinged things about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And she, Jan Moore, has been particularly racist and dehumanizing to Meghan. That's very clear. So she is not a good person. However, she has a job working for the Daily Mail, and she has to find a story to fill her column somehow, which makes it extra funny when she turns her nasty, withering gaze onto the other Windsors, and this time towards Charles himself. And Jan Moore has also been extremely critical of Prince William and Kate for how much they trot out their kids, and she had some vicious words for the Caribbean flop tour last year. And now Jan Moore has turned her gaze on the coronation, and the headline is, "I fear Charles' coronation will prove to be the beginning of the end of the monarchy." The Carolian age may be historically correct, but the term lacks a certain glamour. Ouch. And here are some highlights. But before that, my family, it's clear what is happening right now. I feel like the tabloids are sending a message to Charles himself to be very, very careful about what happens, with Harry, should he attend the coronation. I feel like they are sending a message to him. Because my family, I feel like, yes, the tabloids do want, no matter how much they say or send orders to Charles, I feel like, yes, they do want Harry there. They want Harry there, and they want him there so badly, because that has been their entire goal, like forever, to have Harry back in the UK. And I feel like Charles himself also wants Harry, but without his wife and children. So my family, to understand this more, let's hear what Jan Moore said about Charles and the coronation, really. Because we can get a rough idea of exactly what it is they are seeking to happen. Because don't forget, the partner of the royal family, the UK tabloids, have a huge sway on what the royal family, normally does. The royal family has to abide by what they are told by the UK tabloid media. Because even they, as much as the royal family can control the media, they also fear them. They fear being turned on by the UK tabloid media. And being turned on by the tabloid media to the royal family also means being turned on by the public. And we all know that will mean the end of the British monarchy. And no wonder members of the royal family are afraid of the UK tabloid press. My family, please hear this. On the Carolian age, Jan Moore says, and I quote, "King Charles and Queen Camilla, how the heart sinks at the prospect of having Charles as king and Camilla as queen. I'm finding it hard to be inspired at the elevation of these former star-crossed lovers into the constitutional head of state and his fragrant consort. Yes, they seem like perfectly nice people who have embraced a myriad of good causes. And yes, they always do their best on duty, shuffling about in their mossy tweeds or evening velvets, oozing twinkly charm when needs must. On the charisma vacuums, but let's be honest, Charles and Camilla are about as charismatic as a couple of garden gnomes. She says, "My family, why are the media going after Charles and Camilla?" You have to ask yourself that question. Why? Why are they writing negative things about Charles mostly? Because the target in this case is Charles. Why? Why is that? First of all, you ask yourself, which faction are they supporting in this case? Because always the carnival of so-called experts are divided into factions of which house they support. You have those supporting Charles who are loyal to him, like, let's say, for instance, Robert Jobson, carnival so-called expert Robert Jobson. And then you have others like Dan Wootton who are loyal to Prince William. Because even for the coronation, Dan Wootton said that if Harry is to come, then somehow Charles must find a way to protect William from Harry. That's what Dan Wootton said, which is quite weird. Because my family, the person who has physically abused Prince Harry is William. The person who has the power and influence in this case, really, and the money is William, at least in the UK. William has that. He has the power as the heir. And the tabloids will do whatever he wants, will do his bidding for him. The attacks against Harry and Meghan came from all of us know where it came from. It came from Kensington Palace, headed by William. All the anti-Harry and Meghan stories. And the tabloids spread those anti-Harry and Meghan stories to please who? William, of course. William, of course. Even a carnival of so-called expert that I saw on Good Morning Britain after what happened with South Park when they mocked Harry and Meghan, a carnival of so-called experts said that William will be pleased. I mean, my family, don't they understand that already they are showing the entire world that William is the abuser? It's like they don't care anymore. They are showing the entire world the person who William truly is. Vindictive, hateful, and in a quest to destroy his brother and his brother's wife. And he finds pleasure in watching Harry and Meghan be abused, mocked, ridiculed. I mean, no wonder the leaks against Harry and Meghan came from Kensington Palace, headed by Prince William and Kate Middleton. No wonder. My family. So that clearly makes sense why William will be happy to see Harry and Meghan mocked or abused. Clearly, he has benefited from that abuse for all of these years. My family, as I continue, so no wonder to see what's happening right now. It's clear whom this carnival of so-called experts are trying to please. William, to please Prince William. Please also hear this. Now, John Moore asks, can they really be trusted to carry the mantle of monarchy onwards and upwards, appealing to a new generation and deepening bonds of fealty with the public? I just can't see it, or feel it, or get it, for together these snowy-haired septuagenarians must master the combined star power of an imperial uncle Bulgaria and Madame Charlotte, handicapped by an unfortunate lack of magnetism and a changing shift in attitudes. What she's saying is that Charles can't attract people, the masses. But how can he? when the UK media spend all their time obsessing over Harry and Meghan, prompting jealousy from Charles and William and bringing out the worst in them, that they go and assault Harry, attack Prince Harry, leak stories about his wife because of jealousy. And also, the public, the world really, will never forget the pain that both Charles and Camilla caused to the late Diana. John Moore says that Charles can't inspire like Queen Elizabeth II. Anne says, and I quote, when the Queen was crowned in 1953, she was a young, unknown entity and a clean page, a dark-haired, solemn monarch who went on to put duty first for decade after decade. A woman who inspired devotion and even love in her subjects. But can her son ever command the same depth of loyalty? He hasn't even got the crown on his head yet. But already, we know that Charles often put Charles first. You know, my family, I love just how they're exposing him. Listen, I love it when I see it because my family, they're confirming what we know about members of the royal family themselves, especially about Charles. Charles often put Charles first. As I've always said, Charles cares about himself, his own needs, his own wants. Charles cares about himself. Secondly, he cares about his partnership with the tabloid media. Thirdly, then you have Camilla. I don't think that there is anyone else after that. I don't see it. No one else. Not even William. Not even Harry. Charles only cares about himself. My family, don't forget about William. Some of you might say that, hey, look, William is his favorite child. And yes, you can't say that. You can't say that. However, my family, don't forget that years ago, William had an accident. He suffered a fracture on his skull. For those who don't know, William had an accident. He suffered a fracture on his skull. And instead of Charles being there by his son's side when his son was having surgery, Charles went to an engagement. So my family, Charles, as I've said, only cares about Charles. And that's the truth and nothing but the truth. I agree with that really 100%. That's Charles, and everybody should know that about him. You know? Everybody should know that about Charles 100%. Charles went to an engagement while his son William was having surgery. That tells you what you need to know about him. Charles cares about himself. And even the carnival of so-called experts are revealing it. He puts himself first above anything else. My family, please also kindly hear this, please, on what John Moore is saying. Perhaps Charles is right to put himself first, considering that for him and his elder son, William, destiny is something that is singular and fixed. Because of privilege, they, William Charles, should put themselves first. A gilded prison that is becoming increasingly corporate and under attack. John Moore says that people are hostile to the monarchy. Not only has the age of deference gone, the very concepts that the monarchy is built upon are regarded with suspicion and even hostility. As we have seen the protests, really. People saying that, not my king to Charles. And John Moore says, and I quote, "This include inherited wealth, white privilege, possession of territories, and the rules of succession. Not to mention the enthusiastic acquisition of gold and jewels, titles and lands, rents and riches. With the best will in the clamoring world, it is beginning to feel a little uncomfortable. The thrill has gone. Since Charles was a boy, his life has been pegged out in increments, from cherry brandy to tampon gate to fountain pen petulance to his failings as a father. The latter so cruelly divulged by his young son, Harry. As John Moore says, Charles cheated on his wife and married his mistress, accepted bad money for good causes, and had his valet prepaste his toothbrush every morning. John Moore says that this does not make him a bad king, just an all too human one, she says. And she also says that Charles comes to the throne in the autumn of his life, dragging an unfortunate hinterland and a tattered cloak behind him. One can wish him well, but also accept the unlikelihood that he will ever enjoy the widespread love and devotion of the people that his mother did. In the symbiotic relationship between the monarchy and the people, something profound died along with the Queen and Prince Philip. And despite Charles' best efforts, no amount of pomp or magic anointing oil will ever bring it back. John Moore says, first of all, allow me to say this, John Moore is a racist. First of all, no matter this article she writes about Charles, John Moore is a racist that racially abused Meghan Markle. Let's never ever forget that, first of all. And secondly, it seems to me that the UK media are not happy about something, about Charles and his coronation plans. There is something they are not happy about with Charles. My family. And I feel like it has to do with Harry, obviously. It's either that they are not being briefed too much, or they are being briefed, but the orders that they are making to Charles are not being followed. I mean, of course they are being briefed. We have seen that happening for weeks now, really. The royal family have never stopped leaking and planting stories about Prince Harry. And every day we have a story about the coronation. Every single day. They leak something about Harry. Every day. They never ever stop. And now to see that, she is saying the truth about Charles that everyone knows, really. That clearly Charles and Camilla are not charismatic. And that, indeed, They are not popular. At least not like Harry and Meghan. To see this happening in my family, you have to be suspicious really about what's happening. And I feel like Prince William is behind this. Prince William must be behind this. Kaiser said that, does anyone else find it curious that Janmoa is basically joining Dan Wootton in explicitly criticizing Charles? Tomboa also called him a weak man in an interview this week. Is Prince William making some kind of move? Is there an effort to kneecap Charles even more before the coronation? Or are all of this carnival of so-called experts merely looking at what's before them? Another decade trying to make fetch happen, and they're quietly revolting. Kaiser said, my family, first of all, it's true. The Charles just ain't popular. That's a fact, really. And I feel like, yes, Charles does want Harry to be there at the coronation, alone, obviously, without his wife and children, because we saw just how abusive, from Harry's memoir, Charles was towards Meghan. So clearly, obviously, Charles will not want for Meghan to be there. That's obvious, really. And no wonder we are having these leaks from the royal family that they have an operation called Harry in a Hurry, whereby Harry will come alone without his wife and kids. That's clearly never going to happen. So, my family, I'm going with William is the one behind this. 100%. William is behind this 100% because he's someone who clearly hates his own brother and his brother's wife and wants them to fail. And he's unhappy that somehow maybe Charles is trying to make some compromises with Prince Harry. My family, allow me to read some comments to get the gist of what people are saying online. Now, someone said that since Charles was a boy, his life has been pegged out in increments. So William takes after Charles in this. Is that why Charles is so obsessed with Camilla? No, someone asked this question. Someone said that if William thinks he would do any better with disillusioned royal reporters and a fed up public, he better think again. These columns on how weak, ineffectual, and uncharismatic Charles seems to be the canary in the coal mine. The British monarchy is in trouble, and William is probably even less capable of saving it than his father is. The beginning of the end has already begun, and there is no need to wait for the coronation. Someone said that. Someone called Mary said that I said a couple of weeks ago that I thought William will be on maneuvers in the run-up to the coronation, and now we have this. Perhaps that is the reason for the plethora of appearances, both together and apart, from Bulliam, meaning William, who's a bully, and Kim Moulton. The briefing wars from the separate offices are in full swing. But I did notice what she said about Charles' failings as a father. She confirmed everything that Harry said. Someone said that, my family. And my family, Someone said that this is the third tabloid person this week to take a swipe at Chuck, meaning Charles. This seems to happen every time someone wants to send him a message, because we all know the royal family reads tabloids 100%. And one thing they fear so much is having negative press. My family, Charles is not a good person. Camilla isn't a good person. And both of them truly do lack charisma. But Janmoa, someone who writes for Daily Mail, is the worst type of person. She is not a good person. Janmoa is 100% a racist after what she said about Meghan Markle, months ago. That's who she is, 100%, my family. And my family do see what's happening. It's clear that William is basically sending out his carnival of so-called experts to go after Charles, because maybe he does not like what's happening with this talk of Harry coming to the coronation. Clearly, William is not happy about it, 100%, my family. And is going after Charles using the carnival of so-called experts. That's how members of the firm operate. William, even if one day you become king, I can tell you that you will not be a famous or loved king. The world knows you as an abuser. An abuser of your own brother. Someone who physically assaulted Harry. Someone who can't control his temper. The world knows you as that, William. And in your life, it will be difficult to take that off. 100%, my family. Now, I'd like to hear your opinion on this, please. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and support our evergreen family on YouTube. Hate will never win, my family. And I just want to say this before I end this video. Before I end this video, I want to say this, my family. I want to say this. Charles and Camilla have been feeding this devil, this evil called the UK tabloid media. And one day, this evil, this carnival of so-called experts, this UK tabloid media will eat them. And as you can see, that's what's happening. That is what is happening right now, my family. I'm glad that Harry and Meghan left this place, left the UK, and are living in America, in California. And I also hope that Harry and Meghan don't come to the coronation. 100%, I hope. But once again, whatever choice they make, I will respect it, my family. So, what do you think about all of this, kindly? I want your opinion on this, please. What do you think about all of this, kindly? Tell me what you think in the comment section, online. Kindly stay tuned to our next video. Love you always and forever. God bless Harry, Meghan, Archie, Lilibet, Diana, and Doria Ragland. And the tabloids should stop using the face of Harry and Meghan to get clicks. They must stop. They must stop 100%. They must stop. My family, stay tuned to our next video. Love you always and forever. Hello, members of Zesco Family TV. First of all, I want to say thank you for all your support that you give us to our channel. We don't take it for granted that you support this channel. I want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for lending out your support and fighting against injustices, supporting Prince Harry and Meghan, showing them love. Love will always triumph over evil, and for that I say thank you. Good will always prevail over bad. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for joining this community, this amazing community of Zesco Family TV. I love you so much, family, from the bottom of my heart, and I wish you all the best. May you have a great day. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a lot of things. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Leave a comment below, like and subscribe. Love you, family, always and forever. Sayonara.